Hi everyone! This is a presentation of time maps, collective memory, and the social shape of the past, and is presented by Alix McKinstry and Bacchetta. To start off, Zerubavel's work is structured into 5 chapters that all revolve around the sociology of memory and how it impacts the way humans remember the past. He discusses the structure of social memory, historical continuity and discontinuity, and uses a variety of examples from different cultures and mnemonic communities from around the world. Chapter 1 details the flow of time and the social norms that surround the way humans remember the past. Zerubavel discusses the patterns in which humans view the passage of time, including linear, circular, zigzag, legato, staccato, and more, as well as the way those passages are narrated by history, which he describes as plots and subplots. He also personifies periods of time as being mountains or valleys, mountains being eventful or marked periods of history that everyone remembers, while valleys are the empty periods that have been ignored by memory. Chapter 2 revolves around historical continuity as an illusion manifested by humans in an effort to create connections between the past and present. These types of bridges are built and maintained by humans through the existence of anniversaries, analogies, holidays, souvenirs, and more that help to make the past an interconnected, smooth, and continuous stream of memory. Chapter 3 elaborates on bridging through specifics of ancestry and descent within communities and how ancestral bridging provides indirect connections to the past that offer individuals and communities stronger ties to their history. This chapter also offers insight into how humans are genetically close, if not almost exactly the same, as those of differing races and nationalities, as well as related to different animal species. Chapter 4 discusses periodization, or the defining moments that separate periods of history. Zerubavel calls these periods watersheds and says that they are responsible for how humans separate and view segments of history, as well as how they often clump or divide parts of it. Chapter 5 explores historical priority and how mnemonic communities fight to establish their rights to land, government, where to place blame in international strife, and more. The theoretical basis for this work is cognitive sociology and includes the levels of social memory that exist and can be evaluated by sociologists. Zerubavel explores how time is perceived by humans based on a variety of factors, including the nation in which they live and the community or groups that they belong to. The primary source materials used for the findings included a compilation of data from around the world of 191 national holidays. There is also a 32-page bibliography that details where and from whom Zerubavel pulls terms, historical examples, and ideas from, along with 17 entries from his own previous works and chapter-by-chapter sections of footnotes. Zerubavel explains that time maps is both a continuation and extension of his own work, and work that he has contributed to other publications. In understanding the sociology surrounding memory, people become more aware of how prevalent collective memory is. When they begin to grasp the broad understanding of collective social memory, they can delve deeper into the different levels that exist within it. These levels are on a macro, meso, and micro level, determined by nations, communities, and individuals. This study ties into the coursework within Knowledge and Society because it evaluates the connections between information infrastructures and collective memory. It shows how information has fared throughout history based on the social traditions of memory, as well as the mnemonic significance of events, places, people, and objects of history. The study connects the class's previous discussions on collective memory in the form of ruins, memorabilia, and monuments, an example being the Freedom Tower that was built in memory of the World Trade Center and the Americans who died during the terrorist attack in 2001. In terms of the reception of time maps, we reviewed 3 separate articles. In the first one, Joseph M. Brandt reviewed time maps in Contemporary Sociology, a peer-reviewed academic journal that focuses on review and critical discussions. He criticizes Zerubavel for the limited analysis on case studies and how the case studies were only evaluated within citations rather than the entire work itself. He also criticized the omission of how technology, mass literacy, and writing contributed to social memory. He praises Zerubavel for bringing attention to the importance of sociology in reference to time and memory. David P. Hanij reviewed the book in the Journal of Interdisciplinary History, a peer-reviewed academic journal that focuses on reviews and articles. He divides the book into two parts, continuity and discontinuity. He touches on the confusion of readers at the elusive examples, which I agree with. Overall, he states that historians would find it interesting but lacking nuance. Tomas Zerubavel reviewed the study in Time and Society, a peer-reviewed academic journal that publishes reviews, discussions, and articles. He praises the explanation on how time is perceived in different cultures and societies, and overall conveys that he thinks that the book is well written and researched, but it lacks observations on the individual as well as other elements of reality. In terms of our own interpretation and reactions, we believe that Time Maps was an interesting and thought-provoking work about collective memory and the impact social systems have on how societies determine what parts of history are worth remembering, while others are lost and forgotten. We saw the study as an evaluation of time under the lens of humanity, how humans create illusions of history and time in order to comfort themselves and create connections between themselves and the past. Zerubavel provided many examples which clarified the general concepts he was introducing. However, we felt that there were too many examples to the point where the significance of each was diminished. If Zerubavel had focused on, say, 2 different examples instead of 5 at a time, he would have been able to dive more deeply into each example and pull more meaning and connections out of them, which would have also enriched the reader's experience and understanding of time maps. Here's the bibliography in case anyone is interested in reading the reviews that we used for this presentation. Thank you for listening.